Welcome back, socialites. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Lawless Forget the Filler foundation. So this is a plumping, smoothing, and nourishing foundation. So this is not a first impressions. Usually my foundation reviews are, I've been wearing this all month. And spoiler alert, I love it, but you guys will see how I put it on. We're going to do a wear test without any primers and everything, so you guys can see just how it performs on my normal to combo skin. So the claims of this foundation is to be skin plumping, line smoothing. It's a full coverage formula, which I can attest to that. It gives full coverage. There's hyaluronic acid in it, so it's going to be a little bit more hydrating on the skin and plumping. So that's what gives it that smoothing. Anti-aging, I do recommend this for my ladies over 40 for sure, and it gives you a long wearing natural finish. So if you want to see how I got this look and how the new Lawless Forget the Filler foundation stood up for a full day, then keep watching. Okay, socialites, so here's the packaging. Very pretty rose gold. So this is the Forget the Filler Skin Plumping Line Smoothing Foundations. These foundation names are getting longer and longer and longer. I feel like they try to describe what the foundation does in the name, you know? So this is the actual bottle. So sort of minimal with a lighter shade of rose gold for the top, and it's a frosted glass bottle. And then it does have a pump on it that's the same shade of rose gold. They do recommend that you shake it up. I recommend that you shake up any foundation, but you can see that it's sort of, and I'm not sure what that is, but towards the top of the bottle, it's just a little watery right there after not using it for a day, because I wore this yesterday too. So just shake it up a little bit, and I usually like to start off with one pump. I would say it's about like a medium consistency for liquid. It doesn't run, but it's not super thick either. Once you touch it, it feels a lot thinner than the way it looks. And I did get the shade 19T, by the way, which matches me to the T. Okay, when I matched myself in store, I was pleasantly surprised. I felt like it would be a perfect match, and it was. So there's 33 shades in the foundation, so they should have a shade for you. I'm very impressed by how they do neutral shades, but they also have warm and cool shades as well. Now on my skin, I've only used the Clinique Moisture Surge 100 Hour Moisturizer because if you're new here, on my foundation reviews, I like to see how the product performs on bare skin. Every foundation doesn't need a primer, by the way, but I like to see how it performs on bare skin without altering it with like mattifying primers or even hydrating primers or primers that extend the wear of the makeup, you know? And then by the end of the video, I can recommend the best primer for you. So I'm gonna take my Sephora collection number 64 brush. The website does recommend to use your favorite brush or sponge. Keep in mind, a sponge shears it out a little bit more than a brush does. This is such a beautiful formula. This sort of reminds me of, which was my favorite foundation for a long time, the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. That was in the pump, the liquid one, because I think they had like a Lock-It powder foundation, but the liquid one was my go-to foundation for years. And this one sort of reminds me of it, but this may be even more of a closer matte. And I do have normal to combo skin. I'm not super oily and I'm definitely not dry. So this is a full coverage foundation. You can sort of shear it out a little bit if you apply a little bit less, but overall you're gonna get basically full coverage. The match is so great, I don't mind it. There's hyaluronic acid in here, so it doesn't look dry at all. And there's a natural, they claim that it's a natural finish, and I do feel like you get pretty much a natural finish. It doesn't look super matte. I can still see a tiny bit of my pigmentation through the product, but it doesn't bother me at all. And because it's full coverage, I don't like to put on more of the product even though I could. So after we do our powders, we'll reassess that part, but for the most part it covers amazing. I'm going to use my Dior Forever Skin Correct concealers in 4.5 and 3.5. Similar to some of my favorite foundations, this one is like line smoothing, line filling. This is one that's going to be your best friend for my 40 and up ladies for that smoothing, to give you more of that youthful appearance. It's a regular cosmetic puff to blend the concealer, starting in the outer area, working my way up into the corner. LYS Cream Bronzing Stick. This one's in the shade Courage. So I've tried the foundation with a few powders so far, like just loose setting powders, and I find that the more makeup-like, the more glam powders like my Laura Mercier loose powder, and especially like the Makeup by Mario powders, these give more of a glam and they pack a little bit more coverage, and it just looks a little too heavy for my taste. So the powders that I've been liking to use with this foundation have been something like the Ami Collet powder, that's like one of those barely there powders. The Say powder would be good too, although I hadn't tried it with this foundation yet. I did try it with the About Face powder the very first time I wore it, and it was beautiful. I'll pop in a picture of how it looked while I was out that day. So we're gonna use the About Face powder, and this one's in the shade Veil. I'm gonna take my Absolute Pro Bronzer in the shade Dark to do a little bit of bronzing. Y'all, I'm so happy to have this back in my collection. You can pick this up at Walmart. It gives you the most beautiful, just sun-kissed glow. Beautiful bronze. I wish it came in a darker shade. I think this is the darkest shade, but I do like the color from my skin tone though. This bronzer really shines in the natural sunlight. You can see the little golden reflects that are subtle. Camera can pick it up. It's gorgeous. I don't know why it took me so long to get it back. I had broke it. Ariell Brow Glue. I'm filling my brows with my Sephora collection brow pencil. This one's in the shade Soft Charcoal. Okay, y'all, so I have a new eyeshadow palette, and it's from a brand that I've never used before called Mob Beauty, and I've been seeing so many people using them lately. They had a sale maybe about a month ago, and I ordered a quad. Now this is expensive, y'all. I want to say it was like $68 maybe for this, and it was 25% off. Since then, the price has adjusted to a lower price, so I'm not sure what that's about. But so this is their Neutrals eyeshadow palette, and it has their best-selling shadows in here, so all of your essentials. So there's a sort of this one, and I played in these eyeshadows yesterday. This one looks like Sketch from MAC, which is like a reddish brown, and this one's almost like a champagne-y shade that has a little bit of like a sheen to it. It's not like glittery, but it does have a sheen to it. This is the only one with the sheen. The rest of them are matte. And then this one, just a basic like beigey neutral color that's matte, really buttery smooth and very pigmented. This is sort of like that perfect blending shade that sort of reminds me of Saddle from MAC. So these are what they look like, and when I tell you I had no fallout using these, the quality is excellent. So I'm gonna take the medium tone brown and blend that in my crease, like barely tap it in the product to get this sort of color payout. And I'm gonna use my finger to apply the lid shade. And then I'm gonna take the reddish brown and just put a little bit right in the outer corner. I also picked up a cake liner. It's a black liner in the shade, I guess, M41. I think it's like a water activated liner, which I don't think I've ever used something like this before. I'm not gonna use it with this look today. I'm just gonna put lashes on, but this is what it looks like. So it looks just like an eyeshadow, basically. So I don't know if it's just an eyeshadow that they say wet, because if you don't know, you can use eyeshadows. If you wet your brush, you can use eyeshadows as liner. So I'm not sure what makes this different than the eyeshadow, but that's what it is. Before this video, I'm just gonna apply some lashes. Sephora collection coconut in my waterline. And I'm gonna take this NYX pencil. This is the Pkwy eyeliner. It's in the shade Rose Gold. And I'm gonna put this right in my inner corner. It's almost like a glittery shade. YSL Lash Clash Mascara. My Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. This one's in the shade 2 Medium, but this is a product that I can't do my face without it. I do want to add just a little bit of color. The Haus Labs Firemoon Blush. This foundation is beautiful, y'all. I'm biased with this review. I love it. I love it. I'm really contemplating on wearing this for the wedding. We are gonna do a wear test. So for lips, I'm gonna go with Cork lip liner from MAC. A little bit of Peachstock from MAC. Little bit of candy soda on top, and this is from Fenty. Limitless brown from Makeup Forever, just on the top. So this is the final look. I'm not gonna do a finishing spray or anything to extend the wear of the makeup. I do have a lot of errands to run. So it's now 9:35 a.m. So I'll check back in towards the end of the day so you guys can see how it stood up. Okay, socialites, so I'm back and it is now 7:30, so it's about 9 hours later. This is what we have. So I've been running errands, I went grocery shopping, I've cooked, I've cleaned, I've filmed other videos, and I have a bit of shine in my T-zone area. But it's still smooth, there's no settling in fine lines, so I'm just gonna take the same puff that has like leftover powder from earlier and just blot a little bit of the shining areas, and it's an easy quick fix. I just like how plushy my skin looks still. So the formula hasn't oxidized, and with blotting a little bit, I feel like I should get at least a few more hours of wear with this formula. I would honestly, I don't know if I've worn the foundation for 9 hours, maybe 7. But I think this is the longest I've ever worn it this month. So what I would probably recommend is putting your favorite mattifying or oil controlling primers in the areas that you tend to see shine. So for me, here and here, I would probably put my e.l.f. liquid poreless primer, which is my go-to. It's this one right here, but they also have a new mattifying one that would probably be great as well. I'd probably be okay if I added the LYS Natural Finish Spray as well, like before I set with powder or after, or both. And the same with the Fenty Beauty sprays. These two help your makeup to be super long lasting. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you've tried the foundation already, what has been your experience. And I'll have everything linked in the description box for your convenience, or right there on that YouTube shopping tab if you guys were interested in any of the products that I mentioned today. If you're new here, welcome. I'd love for you to come join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. 'Cause I've been where you are. You're too scared to show me love, 'cause too fresh with the scars.